Hello, hello. Now you can hear? Yes. Okay. Okay. So I'm here to cover a part of yoga in this mindful living presentation we decided to do together with Mario. Mario actually was the initiator of this whole discussion, and he came to speak to me, and then I spoke to Fiji, so we are here, three of us together, to just give some insight on this. It's not an unknown topic. I think, mindfulness now, we hear it every day, we read it in social networks, and it's all about mindfulness, and sometimes it's a bit too much. All the benefits of mindfulness, and I wonder why we hear so much about mindfulness. Does it really mean that we have become completely mindless in our day-to-day living? Maybe yes. If you look at how the world works today and where we are in macro, like the wars and the ecological problems and what we are facing today, if you really think about it, it kind of shows that on a day-to-day basis we are living a mindless life, in the sense that the moment you become mindful or you practice mindfulness, you become more kind in a way, and also less aggressive and more focused. And so with all of these qualities, it's really hard for you to participate in a very harsh debate, and not saying to continue with wars and destroy the planet. And so all of these actions that we are doing today, or some people at certain levels, but maybe also us, in a way, it's just a mindless type of living. So what I myself try to cultivate on a day-to-day basis now since 12 years, I started in 2010 with yoga, is just to kind of raise the awareness of myself first, increase the consciousness of what it means to live on a day-to-day basis in a conscious way. Now I just wanted to ask you, how many of you know about yoga or heard about yoga? Yes. Everybody? Okay. So what is yoga for you? Whatever comes to mind, first thing.
It's a good outlet.
It's a good outlet. Okay?
It's like listening to yourself in a way.
Yeah.
Working with awaken.
Yes. Also sports, yeah. Anyone else? What is yoga? First thing that comes in mind. Meditation, yeah. 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 Yes, actually, yeah. I think there are no wrong. Yeah. There's no right or wrong answer in this. I think all answers are correct. And actually, the way I started yoga myself, it was back then just to to have less stress. I heard that yoga calms you down, and I was hectic, and I also had some emotional turmoil, boyfriends and stuff. So okay, last resort, let's try yoga. To calm me down, make me happy. And then I just saw that this was a very superficial view of what I found in yoga. Now talking 12 years after, because for sure you start by learning about yourself through your own body. And you also at the same time you learn about your own energy. You learn about the energies that surrounds you by focusing on this thing that is the closest to us, which is our physical body. So in the most traditional yoga, the one that is today you can see on Instagram, all of these networks, is, the yoga poses, which is I now call it the basic form of yoga. It's what you see on the outside. But today I'd like to focus on this type of yoga which you do not see on pictures, social networks. And this is the type of yoga that is actually felt and seen on your day-to-day basis in the relationships that you start to build with yourself. And then slowly with your friends and the colleagues and the surroundings. Meaning that, this same type of consciousness and awareness that you use while practicing a physical pose, you start to cultivate it on a day-to-day basis in all your connections, in all your actions, in all your thoughts. And surprisingly, the result of it is a good life. It comes by time, it doesn't come, overnight, for sure. And there's also, a whole process behind it. It can be curiosity in the start. You're curious to try different poses, and you do. Sometimes you get hurt, it's part of it. Sometimes you get bored, it's part of it. It's, in a way, it's like part of life. But while you go through this process, you also build awareness. You build mindfulness. And then you see that slowly you are more connected and then more happy overall. This part of the physical aspect of yoga, according to the yoga philosophy, is actually only one of the 8 steps that are known in the yoga philosophy. And it's actually, even when it is mentioned as a yoga pose, it's not really a headstand going upside down or whatever, bringing the leg on the other side. Of course, these are all part of yoga, but also debatable. Sometimes it's mixed with aerobics or with gymnastics, or nobody can really say for sure today what really is a yoga pose. But as long as there is awareness, and there is also some steadiness and comfort in that pose, then we can call it yoga. So it can be as easy as sitting cross-legged without moving and feeling comfortable in that pose. That is also yoga. The literature, the yoga philosophy says that this posture in yoga, the physical posture, is actually a preparation for meditation, which is the other phase of yoga, and it's a tool. In my case, at least, I have seen it as a tool for personal transformation, for building character for myself, and I also, see it as a tool probably to build maybe a dream world, kind of utopic sometimes, like imagining people. Like Mario and like PG, who live with consciousness, and then others who do the same thing, we could end up with a society that have less wars or no wars at least at all, and then we live in harmony. It might sound utopic, and maybe it is a little bit like this from the perspective of today, because I see a lot of difficulties and problems for people themselves to align to their own purpose, to be truthful and to be kind, to communicate in a direct way. Somehow this seems to be very difficult, especially when it comes to emotional issues. People try to hide themselves, behind words, because telling the truth seems to be very difficult. But in fact, sometimes it's the easiest thing to be truthful. And by saying this, I'm also continuing to align with the yoga philosophy. The yoga philosophy, there's a whole set of principles, and one of them is, in Sanskrit, is known as satya, which means truthfulness, but not in the sense of do not lie. But the word do not does not exist in yoga philosophy. There exists the concept of action and result. So whatever you do has a result. So let us do, kind things and good things and truthful things. Let I always be truthful. In that situation, then most of the time, we guarantee a positive result. So this is how it is connected. And the same, there's another principle which is called ahimsa, that means non-violence. So, and it's actually the first yoga principle, meaning that we do not use violence as yogi, not only towards other human beings and people, most of all towards ourselves. Like the type of talk that we do to ourselves, like the most common is that I'm not good enough, yes, as you mentioned. Or, we are the biggest critic. If we had a friend who criticized us the way we critic ourselves in our silent mind, we'd not be friends with them. So, but for us, it's not very easy. Oh, how I did that, what I said, and I could have said better. So we're always in this critical mind. So in that sense, this is considered as hurt. So we try to refrain from this, and instead we replace it by love and kindness towards ourselves. It doesn't come overnight. Oh, yes. What I found that helped me in this process was including a day-to-day meditation practice. And I'm happy to say that at least, I think it's for the 7-8 years, I have not stopped meditation even for a day. So I wake up, I open my eyes, I close my eyes. It can be anytime from 20 minutes to 1 hour, I think, when I was in India, but even 5-10 minutes when I don't have much time. But I'm consistent because it is said that it's most effective when it's day to day. And with this type of practice, even 10 minutes per day, every day, it's really very efficient so that you can cultivate this truthfulness and kindness and connection to this pillar which is within you. We know it is there, it has no name, but it is there. It can be cosmic energy, it can be consciousness, it can be our true self. We feel it is there. So this is how I cultivate it through the yoga and meditation on a day-to-day basis. So this is what I wanted to share with you shortly, and I give the mic to TJ, unless you have some questions.